Good morning, guys. If it looks like I'm a church minister, I just saw it now. It's rather peculiar because I'm not a church minister. I've been thinking quite a lot about the levels of confusion that must reign in the marketplace about the number of new communications channels, the capabilities and or not of AI, the potential threats or not of AI, the kind of data and the amount of data that's available, the difference between data gaps, data accuracy, data privacy, the shrinking markets in many instances where there's not much space left for competitors. I think it's a very, very hard time for the average business to know how to prioritize and what to do. And I just want to give you one simple summary that I always look at. We can elaborate on that in time. But I always look at business as quite a simple thing. You've got an objective of what you want to achieve. You've got the set of resources that for some people will be very limited, for others very fragmented, some parts there, some parts not there, and for other people quite extensive. And then you'll have the results of that, which will endorse and or reward the staff, the people, the shareholders, the funders for putting their money into that particular business. Now, these three needs to be in an equation. And everything else being equal means that the equation will always be biased towards the one that has most resources. But the major issue we need to look at is how do we leverage our resources, regardless as to the magnitude thereof, vis-a-vis everybody else, to attain better results, greater differentiation. And the way to do that is to think different. The way to do that is to look at the norm, to not trust the norm as being definitive, but to say the norm is nothing but a frame of reference, or call it the bottom layer of what I need to do. An airlines to remain in flight, it needs access to aircraft, to be as simplistic as that. Whatever it adds to that will make it a better or a worse airline. And I think if we look at how do we best reward staff, investors, other stakeholders, by leveraging the resources we have, by building a superior business and brand, we need to think different. And we need to think out of the box, and we need to force ourselves to not fall into the business of the entity of complacency. If you look at the stock exchange, any stock exchange around the world, you will find that the very, very vast majority of companies are in the area of complacency, where their results vary up and down depending upon economic cycles and a whole host of factors, often utilized and leveraged by the CEO to explain why they're not doing as well as they can, which I've always found an incredible cop-out. A CEO is actually appointed and an executive to leverage resources better than competitors, regardless of economic and other circumstances. So the important thing for me here, just to conclude, is we may have access to the same resources, but it is the thinking, the questioning, the hard work that will ultimately make our brand and our business a stronger one, offering greater rewards to the people associated with our brand. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.